Peace everyone, Black Eyed Priestess. I just wanted to go live and see who's around. Just giving some free live tarot at the moment, and I'm just gonna pull some cards and see who comes out, and I'll just talk about that ancestor for a bit. Hope everyone's doing all right. It's Tuesday already, and it looks like Danto came out twice already. So, I wonder what Danto wants to talk about. First, should probably talk about the Black Madonna and the fact that, across France and other places, well, there's Freda, so I guess the twins, they want to talk. And, I'm sure it's not hard to tell, but this is Danto, this is Freda. Danto, Freda. 7-7. So, right now, we're gonna just talk about Èzili, the Black Madonna, which is the Black or African depiction of the Virgin Mary with dark skin, originally with black skin, and with the sun, which, in Christianity or Catholicism more so, where they do worship saints, because the Black Madonna is a saint, but she's also Èzili, or Èzili, if, taking it back a little bit past the French. But, so, but speaking of that, in France, they still do have images of the Black Madonna up in the churches, other places in Europe, unlike, in America, where, it's not so much Catholicism, but more so Christianity. But, Christianity and Catholicism are the two primary religions. Voodoo is not recognized, but Ifa is more so ruled by Caucasian, and as long as it's appropriated by a Caucasian or Caucasian Latino communities. And the government has employed Caucasians to pose as initiates so as to appropriate African spirituality, and in particular specific customs. So, having said that, the Black Madonna, Èzili, holds Tijan, the sun. Tijan is our sun, just like Christ is. Jesus, I don't like to use that name. That deals more with Zeus. But Christ, or the Messiah, which is the way, the truth, and the light, deals with that. So Christopher is her son. Just like Lucifer is an aspect of Tijan as well, like the father. All right. So the mystery of Èzili is that, her son is her husband, is her brother. Okay. So he's the sun, she's the moon, or the mom, which is both, the sister and the mother, and the daughter, and the lover. So, there's various paths. So we've got Freda and Danto here. They are the twin sisters that were identical twins. The only trait that told them apart was the fact that Freda was albino. Okay. Otherwise, they were identical. They did enjoy different things. Freda and Danto were one of the um, bloodline of Èzili. They were a set of twin daughters, and that was very, typical of, witches and women who are gifted and women of power to have twins. All right. Èzili and Tijan are twins, just like Freda and Danto are twins. They are not separate of Èzili. They are aspects of her in her direct bloodline, but they are just one time and place of the history of her bloodline and her paths. They were twin daughters of hers. That eventually got separated and lived different lives. Danto had a rough life, and she deals with the spirit of revolution. She also kind of is relates to working in the farm, being a slave. Hard sweat labor work and things like that, and I don't want to say servitude, but kind of more so in positions of hard work and revolution, fighting, having to fight and being in positions of having to fight through life and fight through things. And she represents the aspect of, in terms of the loa of them, in that life, they were identical twin sisters who had more in common than separate, but they did get separated and they did live two different lives, and they represent two different things. Danto, she was a tomboy. She liked to play with knives. Freda was more of a she had more of a princess energy, and they were both princess, but because their mother, as Èzili, the queen, she was the queen at that time. So they were both princesses. But, Fredo, enjoyed looking in the mirror, dressing up a little bit more, Danto enjoyed playing with the boys. Freda enjoyed, flirting with them. So, when we deal with Freda and Danto, it's important to understand they're both African. Freda does not have any Caucasian origin. The fact is that she was the albino of the two. And Danto represents the aspect of the black Madonna. She represents the black aspect of her. Danto is a term that has an underlying definition of blackness, relating to being black. So, and also, in the French translation, Dantor, meaning in heat, deals with the fact that the black woman is usually in a position where she has no man. So she's left in heat because she has no man, no husband, no lover. During slavery, the white women slept with the black men. And to this day, we still see in America where black men who reach a certain social status become essentially slaves, sex slaves to white women, in a sense of their money is being monitored by these societies, and the societies, they're like more advanced sororities and fraternities, and when they do let black people in, they're 90%, or I would say 9 times out of 10 they're a man, because of the power of the black woman and the influence of the black woman her influence is too strong, because women have a stronger influence than men, and that's why, you know, the black men in more elite, you know, celebrity lifestyles tend to be paired with white women, because that's how you monitor the finances and the investment. So Dantor represents the condition of the black woman who is usually left without a man, and usually left to raise a baby without a man. So she's left in heat while the white women enjoy the sexual pleasure of the black man. That is what Danto represents. The condition that the dark-skinned woman was put in as a result of slavery. Freda represents the pampered lifestyle of the white woman that the lighter skinned black woman experiences in America, and, you know, during the times of slavery. She represents the mixing of the French to make lighter children so their children would have a better life. And the fact that the lighter you were, the better life you had, and lighter women always got the dark-skinned guys. And the lighter-skinned guys, them being men, they were looked at as weaker. And so they would always appreciate the dark-skinned women the darker men never wanted. And to this day, no matter what people say, that still holds true. Not, of course, this isn't all cases, but this is just what they represent, and how, even though they came at a time, you know, I don't want to say prior to slavery, but they came around at a time where their separation caused them to live different lives. But through slavery and appropriation of voodoo by white supremacy and by Christian and Catholic indoctrination, in appropriated voodoo, these spirits are looked at and called on in these ways through the perspective of slaves. Okay? And that is why, you know, Freda, even though, again, she was just albino, which, you know, makes no difference, but when you incorporate the condition of slavery and the incident of slavery that was new to humanity to that extent, and now black people are divided by color in a way that they were not divided by color before. Her being albino made her favored by the whites and allowed her to live that, you know, in the house lifestyle, pampered lifestyle. But in fact, Freda was a prostitute. Whereas Danto, she fought guys and things like that. Whereas Freda had to sleep with them for money and to get by during their life. But what that translates and how she's considered is the one who gets the dark-skinned, handsome guys, and is always in competition with the darker women. And so it's important to understand that the light-skinned, dark-skinned competition is not something that the ancestors approve of. It's not something that they participate in. It is something corrupted, and it is not something that is original to Freda and Danto at all. Their differences came in how they dealt with the opposite sex, never in their color. That came about through slavery. That came about through white appropriation of our spirituality, and them elevating Èzili as a spirit that they could corrupt and let the Jezebel spirit access and to be worshipped as a white woman, although it is originally black. And that's why Freda is a corrupt spirit, because she is an access point for corrupt spirits that are not of the Vodun pantheon to enter and be worshipped by black people. So it's important to understand this, because if you are worshiping with the mindset that she represents a white woman in voodoo, you're worshiping a corrupt spirit that is not even in voodoo. That's from another pantheon that's actually at war with our pantheon as we speak. So that's why it's important to understand their feminine power. If you understand Èzili and how she really truly looks, the Black Madonna, and you know, that's the original of her. That's that triple goddess aspect of her. All the descendants of her are Loa and aspects we can call on. But she is the triple goddess, and all of our ancestors are triple black. And she represents that triple blackness. But she also represents the woman who went from mermaid to princess to revolutionary. She has gone through all of the female experiences, you know, from virgin to motherhood to being a warrior and fighting, you know, and suffering for the cause. So that's important to understand as well. And again, be careful of corrupt voodoo spirits. Being depicted, there are some mysteries to why some cultures still depict some spirits as white. I don't feel it's necessary unless that is in fact what that spirit does look like, and you have no other image or way of depicting it other than a image of a Caucasian. But the fact of the matter is, there are especially Rada spirits and Petro spirits. Rada spirits are white in color, whereas Petro spirits are depicted as Caucasian, because the Caucasian fire energy, we had to call on a fire greater than the Caucasian's fire. And you know, in esoteric elemental aligning, Native Americans would be element of earth, Africans would be, or black people would be the element of water, and Asians would be the element of air, and then Caucasians would be the element of fire. And that it speaks of the Caucasian need to conquer, because remember, the only original form of fire comes from the sun. Otherwise, fire is not an original element. You need combustion. It is a sub-element. So that represents that recessive genetic, meaning that it is the only one out of the four elements that's not in original form. The original form of fire is the sun. But they don't represent the sun. Caucasians have never been known to be the children of the sun. So they're fire because fire is a combustible element, and it speaks to their need to conquer, to survive. Their need to conquer. That's what fire does. It eats away the vegetation. It burns it. It burns like wildfire if it's not contained. So this is the nature of the Caucasian ethnicity within the human race. Okay? And that is why certain cultures still, if they're calling on the Petro spirits that were used to create revolution, that called upon our African spiritual fire, which was greater than the Caucasian fire, where we fought fire with fire. That is a mystery as to why, you know, some still depict images of Caucasians, because they felt that at that time it was that Caucasian fire that was used to free them. So they still call on that Pethro version. You know, however, that is a deep mystery, a deep mystery that, you know, I could do another upload on, but it is unnecessary to depict your bloodline ancestors any other way than they look. You know, it would be far more accurate for Druids and Celts and Gaelics, you know, and the Irish and the Scottish and the Norse to depict those deities as melanated with thicker hair than it would be for Africans to depict their ancestors as recessive genetic Caucasian individuals, or images. So, you know, again, having said that, there are some spirits, you know, that can be corrupted and serve as entry points for other pantheons to corrupt our bloodline, our heritage, and that does happen. I'm feeling a strong shift since I came out. I feel a shift. Peace, Aziz. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I've been seeing your messages. So I have been feeling and seeing a shift. I'll cheers to you, Aziz. But it is still important for the more oppressed demographics, the more oppressed ethnicities to understand the appropriation that's going on, just as it is important for Caucasians to understand that, you know, appropriating deities that have ethnic origins and ethnic, you know, phenotypes and images does everyone an injustice. It doesn't help the Caucasian person to learn and really draw power and wisdom and energy from the deity that they may admire and actually feel connected to and want to worship, not as a bloodline person, but want to worship as in reverence. It doesn't do justice to them to be given a recessive, watered down version of something that they're revering, and they should be revering in their full glory, not a whitewashed, appropriated version. And it certainly does the greatest injustice to the people who are the bloodline trait, who are giving away their power to something recessive that doesn't know what to do with it. You're empowering another phenotype and another ethnicity who doesn't even know how to draw power from this deity because they have no natural bloodline connection, yet they believe it comes from them. So it's important to understand the appropriation agenda, and that is doing the whole world an injustice when you don't allow the ethnic historical origins of artifacts, of mythology, of, you know, of sacred texts to be represented by the actual culture and people and ethnicity that begot it, that is its heritage, that inherit the power of that deity. So, having said that, right now, Aziz, do you have any question for the tarot? I'm also doing a live tarot. So if you have any questions right now about anything, or you need a tarot divination, let me know. I'm doing a live tarot reading as well. Otherwise, I'm going to cut it short. So again, with Freda and Danto is good for, they both have strong intuition. Danto likes red wine. Danto drinks. Danto will smoke cigars too. Danto also deals with corn strongly, with corn, yellow corn actually too. I don't care if y'all say it's a fake GMO product or it's not natural. Danto deals with yellow cornmeal, you know, because there's different colored corn. So she does deal with that, with yellow and cornmeal. And she deals with a full big heart. Danto deals with a big full red heart. Big red hearts for Danto. Pink hearts for Freda. Red hearts for Danto. Danto deals with red. In that aspect. And Freda deals with, Freda has a lightning, a kind of a lightning bolt through her heart. Danto has like a knife through, Danto has like a knife through her heart. Freda has more of a lightning bolt through her heart. Freda is connected to the Imamau. Connected to the Imamau ship more. Whereas Danto would be more, in terms of terrain, she would be more connected to, I would say, the home or the farm. The farm. Not necessarily the plantation. The farm. Freda's connected to the Imamau, the ship that deals with her travels, to, you know, to other places through Europe and things. Danto knew how to fight. Freda was a prostitute at some point. Peace, Aslam. Let me know if you need, I'm doing some tarot. Let me know if you have any questions. So again, Danto would deal with red, a big red heart. Freda would deal with pink, pastels, like pastel green, you know, off-white, pale white, pale pink, rose. Both of them would deal with rose, but Danto would deal with red, a red rose. Freda would deal with, you know, light pink roses. Let me check these messages, y'all. All right, Aziz, let's see. All right, what would you like Aziz to do? Are you male or female, Aziz? Are you male or female? Aziz, I know it says poor connection. Let me know if you can hear me. Aziz, let me know if you can hear me. I'm getting that you need to make an offering to Papa Legba. Yeah, I'm getting that you need to go through Legba. You need to go through Papa Legba to access, to get to know these spirits. Okay, good. You need to go through Papa Legba. So yeah, I don't know if you dealt with Legba before, but Legba will can decide if you have the rights to do voodoo, or you know where your standing is with the spirits. So I think you need to consult Legba. If you need help with that, you know, let me know. And you probably will have to do a spiritual bath, but it's definitely showing that you do have a thing for mermaids. I'm feeling like you might have a bit of an Agwe spirit, a little bit. So he does, it does look like Legba does acknowledge your fascination with mermaids. But you do need to do some initiations into voodoo, not Ifa, voodoo. That's what I'm getting. You need to go through Legba, and you have a fiery energy. So you're going to be dealing with one of those, like I've been talking about the fire. You're going to be dealing with the fiery aspect of Legba a little bit. You've got a fiery energy. You're a fire. What's your ethnicity? What's your ethnicity? You have a fire in your blood, is what I'm getting, Aziz. Yeah, you got fire in your blood. You're going to have to offer 3 pennies to Papa Legba, and there's some other things, but you could start with that. So that's the first thing I'm getting. But it might not be 3 pennies. It might be like a silver dollar or a gold dollar. There's a coin that you have that Legba wants. There's some special coin. Is it an Indian coin or something? There's a special coin that you have. It's big. It's bigger than a quarter. It's slightly bigger than a quarter. Legba wants you to offer that in the water. You need to offer that in the water somehow. You need to throw that. You need to throw that coin that you have. There's some type of coin that you have that Legba wants you to offer to him, but you're gonna have to offer it in the water. Is there a pond? There's a pond where you live. You got to go to that pond and offer that coin in the water to Legba, and then he's gonna give you access to mermaids. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you heard that. All right, everyone. Let me know if you heard that. I'm gonna hang out for about another minute. So I know live feeds lag sometimes. Looks like it's just about that time, y'all. All right. Good. Well, Aziz, hit me up on my website. Let me know about that. Or message me on Black High Priestess on Facebook. And let me know if any of that resonated. Or you can just comment below if you would like. Let me know if any of that resonated with you. You might have to go back and watch the video, because I know it was there was a poor connection. So let me know, and let me know if you have any other questions about that. You can go on my website, and I can give you a $25 session for initiations or whatever. That's what Legba's saying. So, whenever you're ready to be initiated, so you can deal with the mermaids. All right, peace and love, everyone.